is Friday, December 6th. It is Jobs Day. So what does that mean? Well, we kind of got a jobs report for November, and it was pretty good. Kind of spiked the futures. And if we go over here and look, you can see that spike right there on Seeking Alpha of the futures. That comes from the jobs report. It was okay. I mean, it was November non-farm payrolls rebound from October storm strike. Unemployment touches 4.2%. It was 4.1%, I think, and now it's 4.2%. It's kind of floundering there. Jobs are jobs, and it doesn't seem like the jobs market is exploding. You know, what did we have yesterday? We had kind of a sideways day. I think I was, up a couple thousand. I mean, for my size portfolio to be up a couple thousand, I mean, that's just a flat day. It's just a flat day. There is nothing that really pumped. Yesterday, we went over 100,000 on Bitcoin. We came back. What else did you get? You got Roaring Kitty yesterday. Yeah, and he halted GME. And he posted that's it. Roaring Kitty just put how this post in seconds later GME moved up 5% on the day, and then it was halted. Okay? Again, we're back at froth. We are back at froth, and it's high. And we'll go over a lot of stuff, including, I'm going to go over a Seeking Alpha article, which is warning you that the S&P in the market is just too high. And we'll go over that douche's history to show you exactly where they're, what he's doing. We'll go over a bunch of stuff. But I do want to start with one other thing. And I know I pumped this girl up. The Hawk Tua girl, I forget her name. I think her real name is Haley. But yesterday she launched a meme coin is what they were calling it. And it pumped up to $50 million in market cap before they rug pulled it. And so this is just a warning about some of these things that happen. And I feel bad for some people that get wrapped into this stuff because I don't think that they know what they're getting wrapped into. But essentially what happened was they pumped this all the way up, and then people who were involved in the project seem to have just sold everything. And when they sell everything, when you bought in, it actually goes to zero. And there were $2 million in fees, just fees, to the founders of this. It's just bad business to be able to do things like this. And it's just another just celebrity cashing in on something like this and making people pay. Don't be, again, I sell, and I got a comment yesterday on YouTube about how I sell too much. The only thing that I sell, and seriously, it's just the tools that I use. If I'm not your cup of tea and you don't like my 4-hour algorithm, don't get Trendspider. Go and get Thinkorswim for free. Get Webull. You can join Webull today and get free stocks. Okay, and they have a great desktop software. You don't need to get Trendspider. It's going to be on sale. It's 50% off right now, $53.50 per month. You can get my 4-hour algorithm by just going here. Again, the only thing that I sell, I've got a Black Friday sale for premium and alpha picks. I've gone over premium yesterday, what it is. And alpha picks, it's just a great portfolio that has the returns. So am I selling something in particular? No. Am I giving you tools that will help you in the future? Hopefully. Do you need to buy them? No. Do I give good advice? I think so. And I think with me being one of the top investing podcasts on Spotify, I think other people do too. So if I'm not your cup of tea, please leave. No problem. I'll just say bye, Felicia, and you'll be on your way. But again, I'm not going to be one of these people who rug pulls you guys and says, there's no freaking way I'm going to launch a coin. I was approached about an ETF, and I think it's Lucas that wants me to do the ETF, the LOG ETF, the Legend of Gary. It probably won't happen. It may, but I don't feel like getting licensed. I don't know if I could do something like that. And it is what it is. So right now, it's just the tools. And everything that you see managing here on the screen is how I manage my personal portfolio. And yes, I have quite a bit of money. And yes, I've been quite successful. So if I'm not your cup of tea and you don't want it, I'm not hurt. My feelings aren't hurt. There's enough people out there who I've helped that have written me nice notes, and that's it. Let's talk about this. Dan Ives says the tech rally tech Santa Claus rally will carry into 2025. That's a good thing. I mean, that's a really, really good thing. And Dan Ives has been more right than wrong. He hasn't been Tom Lee right, but because he's not that specific, but he's raised his price target on Palantir. He's done a lot. And the Qs is a great place if you're looking to get into just the tech sector. Just buy the Qs. Don't worry about it. The Qs have outperformed. You'd be fine just buying the Qs. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, if he says the tech rally will continue into 2025 and he backs it up in this clip with numbers, with spending, all of that stuff. So make sure you're actually in the tech sector. And if you just want to get broad coverage, take the Qs. You could also take the core portfolio has XLK in there. That is a heavy ETF in my portfolio personally. We can go over and look at XLK. XLK, I think there's 38 holdings if I remember correctly. This one, it's up 30% over 1 year. Year to date, it's up 24%. We can see it against the S&P. Against the S&P for 1 year, it's down. I mean, it's underperforming 30% versus 33%, so you probably still have more room to go. Year to date, it's up 24%. The S&P's up 27%. What are the holdings on this one? Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Broadcom, Salesforce, Oracle, Cisco. It's got 72 holdings. 72 holdings. So I like this fund. I like it. Just make sure you're into tech because being a large cap tech investor has helped me. Now, some of the biggest movers of the day, again, I said it earlier this week, it's all about earnings. DocuSign jumped after the company posted full quarter 3 results and upbeat Q4 outlook. This is a stock that is now trading. Let me see. Where is it? DocuSign is now. We're going to go and look at the chart because I sold this one. OG people will remember it was hovering around 50 to 60 bucks. I bought it at 65 on a pump. And then it right around here in January, I think it was around January, it was like 65, I think. And it pumped up. And then I just kind of, forgot about it. And I was like, when I'm cleaning up my portfolio, it's run a bit. It's up at 60. I'm going to sell it at 60. And so I sold around September, August, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it has run to $83. And in pre-market, you're at $95, okay? That 50-day has turned. The Bollinger Bands, look at those Bollinger Bands on this weekly from June all the way till August. And then it just takes off and trades at the top of the Bollinger Bands after these earnings. Earnings are a catalyst, okay? This 200-day is still moving negative. I would expect this one to continue to run. They just released their earnings and it's doing very well. If this is something that hits into your fancy, it's a strong buy in the quant. Wall Street says it's a hold and they have a $78 price target. Expect that to start coming up. Again, the quant has it as a super strong buy and they moved it to a strong buy at $80. You're at $95 right now. $95. So that's a big mover. Then you go down and all of a sudden, Warren Buffett's play on ULTA, it surged 10%. Okay, ULTA is now back in the range. We can go and look at this chart. ULTA is one that I got out of as well. This is one that I got wrong. There are many stocks that I get wrong. Okay, I am not a beauty expert. I don't pretend to be. I don't wear makeup. I do put on the skin cream stuff that I really like. It got it for like $10 off of Amazon. And there's an app, by the way. It's called Yuka, Y-U-K-A. If you download that app and you take a picture of a product, a food, or something like that, it tells you if it's good or bad, and then it gives you some suggestions, and that's where I got my skin cream from. But ULTA, where are we going? Well, now the 50 days moving sideways, the 200 days moving sideways, but the Bollinger Bands are expanded up, and you're moving up. The algorithm had you in here at 360. Okay, you may say, well, what does the algorithm do? Well, it makes you, over 24 and a half months, there are 30 positions. It makes you 8.9%. That may sound bad, but if you bought and held, you're down 12%. If we take a look at this weekly one, you're hovering right around that 200-day. Your 50 days still moving negative. You might have this death cross, but I think with these earnings, they may have turned a corner. Your cap is around 540. So let's take a look at the third one, GitLab. GitLab, I didn't know much about. I know it's a great stock. It's a tech stock. Moved up 8% on earnings. Great. And finally, Lululemon. Yoga pants are back in fashion. Did somebody? I mean, all I wear is athleisure, so I don't have a job other than this. So I wear Puma and Under Armour sweatsuits the entire time. So in fact, this is a Puma hoodie that I have on. These are my pajamas. So and UiPath fell 6%. So those are your biggest movers. Again, I've held most of those. One that moved actually a little bit yesterday, I think, was SoundHound. It was up 31% yesterday, and it's up 7%. This is interesting because they had a investor conference, and they got a taco shop deal. Okay, this is a company that uses AI for speech, and it's a call center. Essentially. And you can take a look at this. This is what's interesting about this one is it's still not making money, but we've turned a corner on this one. And it seems like the Bollinger Bands are moving up and it's moving out. Is this one that you could invest in? Well, let's take a look, because what I want to point out is that the valuation isn't nuts, but they're not making money. But if you go to this earnings tab, you can see, the financials tab, you can see they actually have some revenue. And so yesterday with their taco shop deal, that might put the actual financials into a good situation. Now, their growth, it kind of sucks. And the reason that they're just not making money, the profitability, it does suck. They're just not making enough money. Again, but the momentum is fantastic. And remember, I think it's NVIDIA that has a small investment in this one. This might be worth, time to take a look at it and trade it on some type of strategy that makes money. Well, what actually makes money? Well, my 4-hour algorithm actually makes you money. Okay? If you bought and held this one, you made a fantastic 24 months. You made 850%. That may sound great, but if you just listen to my algorithm, and it wins 46% of the time, 26 positions. 2,061% return. Where's the confetti and the boom, the mic drop? Because you have to have a strategy in order to trade something like this. This is hugely volatile. So you don't want to sit in there and just buy a ton of this and say, oh my God, I'm just going to buy it and hold it. No, probably not a great strategy. But I do like this one. With that announcement of the taco deal, I think it moves it into another realm of situation. Now, there are 11 opportunities according to Goldman Sachs. And these are 11 ones. The following are rated based on laggards. So it's 10% upside to their Wall Street price target. It also includes strong EBITDA and margin expansion. Okay. And it includes solid cash return on investable capital like CROCI. Now, I'll tell you, when you look at these, it's funny because Advanced Micro, Becton Dickinson, there's a whole list of them here where they say, hey, the price target is up there. And these also have strong cash flow. So if you're going to trade something, trade one of these. Try and find it. Intuit's on here, Lam Research, Merck. There's a whole list of them. So I think this is an article that you could check out. Now, Palantir. This is interesting. It's a 13-minute video. This is a real-world demo of building an ontology and utilizing Palantir. If you've ever wanted to know what Palantir looks like in action, this is it. And it's a 13-minute video. I thought it was a good one. I still don't understand completely what the hell Palantir does. I know it's an AI and it takes data in and pushes data out and builds this AI stuff. I know it's that. I still don't understand it. And I don't understand the valuation on it. I mean, that one is crazy to me. But this video kind of put into perspective how it could go. So, is Lulu finally a buy? Lulu delivers solid quarterly results, hikes full year guidance. It's up 8% in the pre-market. Let's take a look at this because, again, I said, hey, earnings are driving this one. And this isn't an opportunity to get back in. Well, if we take a look at a weekly chart, you just had the death cross, but your actual price movement is moving up. Your MACD is down here, and your RSI is moving up. I would say that 200-day is resistance. If you can hold for the next couple of weeks a $354 price and it doesn't come back down to 308, I would say if you get this back down to 308, I think you take the trade. I think you do. Because the MACD has reset itself all the way down here. Would have been great to get this one in August for 229. Absolutely. You've nearly doubled your money since then. Nearly, but it's Gary math, so it's not quite doubling. But again, I think this one, with the report that they just reported, I think this one might be an opportunity. Let's see what the average price target is on Wall Street, because I don't think that they've chased it all the way down. It was just a temporary one. Yeah, you still have 2% upside, but in pre-market, you're at 374. So you're up above that. They did chase it down. So I would expect this one to start coming up. Now, they did say, hey, we still have a lot of big days to go ahead over the. Remember, with retailers, it's all about this holiday season. And ULTA's kind of the same thing. They had a really, really good quarter. And right now it's trading at 432. If we go to the Wall Street, it's a buy in the quant. And it's the valuation that's a problem. 424 is the price target. Right now it's trading at 432. So I would say with both of these, they might be opportunities. I am not a beauty person. I am not a clothing person. These would absolutely for me be trades, but I'd be looking at those 200 days as resistance. And if they hold as support, I think then you could look to getting into these and looking at them moving up. Because again, I think these are good businesses. I just think they went through a hiccup. And so that would be my take. Now, we know that Bitcoin passed the $100,000 mark. And I've been telling people just to get into it. And does it mean buy the dip? Absolutely, it means buy the dip. So it's back under 100,000. Let's go over here and let's take a look. We'll go to our Bitcoin watch list, and you can just go down here. I put this in the other day. Is Bitcoin it's at 98,000. Okay, and the 4-hour algorithm actually trades Bitcoin. So you can see you got an entry here at 96,000, and you can trade this on Coinbase or whatever. You can use the 4-hour algorithm. It backtests for 5.6 months. It makes you 63% versus buying and holding makes you 52%. You win 42% of the time. So it's almost 50%. But your average win, 8.4%. 4%. You can see it just got you out of 37% there. It got you out with a 1% loss there. So it's not foolproof. But again, with Trump naming David Sachs, who's one of the hosts of the All In podcast, as the AI and cryptos are, if you haven't listened to the All In podcast and you don't know how bullish this guy is on Bitcoin, get ready. Get ready, because AI and crypto is in his wheelhouse. This is going to be an AI and crypto administration. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I really, really think that this, the Haley, the Hawk Tua girl rug pulling, that shit's going to come under scrutiny, and you're not going to be able to do that kind of stuff here in this country anymore. And I think that's when crypto and Bitcoin specifically start to get some legitimacy and start to pump. So just get in. And again, if you don't want Bitcoin directly, buy one of the ETFs. My particular choice is IBIT. And the reason I chose IBIT is just because it's low cost and it's got the largest assets under management. That's it. You could even do a MicroStrategy, MSTR. That's my leveraged ETF on Bitcoin. This one is up 1.63%. It's at 392. This one has been regularly pumping since November 20th all the way until today. It is going between 468 and 300, 380. 380 seems to be a support level that it really likes. Look at how the MACD up here on the 4-hour was so extended. And now it just keeps going down. Okay, and the RSI is reset down to 52. I'm waiting for those Bollinger Bands. I'm waiting for another buy signal, and I will get back into MicroStrategy. And I may even get back into MSTX, because MSTX is a double leveraged MicroStrategy. And that just doubles it. And you can see the algorithm got you out with a nice little gain of 75% right there. 75%. I sold it before it got out. I'm waiting for the entry, but the MACD is reset down there, and the RSI is reset. Again, I think these are just some type of things that you should be into. And when I talk about an AI and GLP-1 market. I was just going over this with Eli and the folks on live YouTube. I do believe that we're still in an AI and GLP-1 market. I just think crypto has the opportunity to change things right now. And I think that's the hot sector, and I want to be in it. I don't want to be out of it. I don't want to, put 50% of my actual net worth into crypto, but I want to be in that sector. So I'm not in GLP-1 market because I just don't think it's got the hot hand right now. I think crypto has the hot hand. And so that's where it determines, where is my focus? Right now, it's crypto. And you guys may hate me for that. You guys may say, hey, I don't have the risk tolerance for that. That's fine. I don't have the problem with that at all. But I would say, IBIT, if you have the opportunity to put 1% of your total net worth into IBIT, I think you're going to do well under this administration. So, I thought this was interesting. So I was reading some of the Seeking Alpha. I was sitting in the waiting room yesterday in the hospital waiting for my dad. And I'm like, okay, let me read some stuff. And this particular one, this may be the most expensive stock market ever. And so I went over this and I said, he goes price to earnings, price to sales, price to book, the dividend yield, how it's low, leading stocks. And his conclusion is that the market is just overpriced. So I said, I haven't read this guy a lot. Let me go over. And I went back to and I'll put this in the newsletter. Okay, let me just read a couple of the headlines from January and February. We'll go, from January. The time to unwind the market rally has come. The market rate cut fantasy may already be over. Higher rates and a stronger dollar will crush stock prices. The warning signs in the stock market are clear and present. Technical analysis. NVIDIA's stock is at a point of exhaustion. Let's go back to January. And I'm going to pull up, you know what? He mentions NVIDIA. So let's go back to January and look at QQQ. Where were you trading in January with QQQ? Because his readers, you were at 407. Okay? Is the market rally over? So, take a look at that. Go back. When you read an article like this, go and find out what the history of this person is. He is constantly at 407 and he's telling you not to buy. Okay, let's go to NVIDIA in January. Okay, January, NVIDIA was selling at $51. You've 3 times your money since that guy said it was extended. Understand, there are douches on the internet, and they don't mean to be douches. They actually have some numbers to back it up. But you've got to take a look at the price action. And so when I tell you take a look at the value of a stock and the actual technicals of a stock, that was game changing to me. That's why I got Trendspider. You don't need Trendspider. Again, you can get a free program if you want. But understand, these articles are not meant to do anything other than present an option to you. And even my podcast, it is only there to present an option to you. There is nobody that is going to guarantee you. When Dan Ives says, hey, the AI rally is going to continue into 2025, he doesn't know. There could be a catalyst that brings it down. So all people are doing are bringing you educated guesses. So I don't mean to knock on this guy, but his track record isn't that great. So from YouTube, Terry says, hey, Gary, I just wanted to know what your thought on XLF is and whether or not I should sell in the short term. Thanks in advance. If you think financials are good, Terry, XLF, it's not expensive. It's not a super expensive stock, ETF. And look at the trend. Should you sell it? I don't know. That depends on your own risk tolerance. I can't tell you whether to sell it or not. I just know, hey, in the administration, I think financials are going to do well. I wrote about it in and I did a podcast about it last weekend for the paid newsletter subscribers. That's up to you. I can't tell you whether to sell this one or not. I can't. I'm not going to make that decision for anybody. Ryan, he says, what are your thoughts on AVAV? So first off, I would tell you, I think it's Ryan. Let me just check. Is it Ryan? Yeah, Ryan Piccolo from Spotify. AVAV, this is Aero Environment. Let's take a look at the stock chart. It's a good one. It's a great one. In fact, you're going from 36 to 165. That's fantastic. Look at the recent, huge downturn. And then go over here, AVAV. I told him, just go and look at the the virtual analyst report. A stock like this, it's not making money. Your guess is as good as mine as to what it's going to do. Their market cap, $4.64 billion. It's a small cap to me. I just don't like it. And when you go to this virtual analyst report and you pull this one up, this is why you have it. Valuation significantly stretched to a price-to-sales ratio. The growth of the company shows impressive growth. Profitability is moderate with a gross profit margin of 40%. Momentum presents a mixed picture with a one-year price performance of 44%, far exceeding the sector's 23%. However, 3-month and 6-month performance shows decline. Earnings revisions are balanced with 2 upward and 2 downward. There's 2. So other than that, I know nothing about this company, but for me, I'd trade it. That would be my thing. So, when you ask me about a stock, and that's just and the next one, Double D from Spotify. Hey, Gary, I just introduced to your podcast through the interview with Seeking Alpha. I was wondering your thoughts on LEU as a nuclear play. I have heard very little talk about it, even though it seems to have large competition advantage. So, LEU, and I told... is it Trey? Hold on, let me see. It is, no, it's Double D. I like that name, by the way, Double D. I told him, hey, I'm not a nuclear expert. And the only thing I can do in an overview of this one is probably far less research than you should do as an investment. I invest in large cap tech. You can typically find a ton about large cap tech, about their financials, about their management, about their products, everything of that sort. LEU is one that I just don't know about. So I would first say, okay, let me go to my 4-hour algorithm and see. My 4-hour algorithm makes you 50% over the last 24 months. Buying and holding makes you 109%. What I see here is an earnings reaction that is great, and then it pulls back, which isn't all bad, because if those earnings were good, then you can see from this point forward, if this is the nuclear name, this is the reason nuclear took off. And that's that case. I would look for it to pull back to its probably 200-day at about 60, because the history of this one is that it hangs out at the 200-day. And when it goes under that 200-day, I would trade it. Now, if we want to know more about it, he got me from the Seeking Alpha podcast. And so more than likely you have Seeking Alpha. And you can take a look at this. It's a hold from the quant. And why is it a hold? Well, it's the valuation. The valuation, they're not making money. They have a high forward PE. Their PEG ratio is fairly decent, but not great. They don't have a forward PEG ratio, but the growth, impressive. The 14% revenue growth, where the sector is actually losing. Revenue growth going forward is 12%. EBITDA growth is 62%. Their levered free cash flow, they're not making money. But their free cash flow per share growth, 87%. Then you go to profitability, and they're doing great. Gross profit margin, 25%. That's a little bit suspect, but the overall grade is B+. Then you go to momentum, and God, 3-month performance up 100. I always say it, the momentum is the biggest factor in this quant. I don't know the quant strategy or the formula, but momentum has to be huge. Now, revisions, that's where you get kind of, an iffy one, but it's only 2. So if you go back here and you look at the Wall Street, let's see, Wall Street has 3 analysts that cover it, and their average price target is 112. There's just not a lot. Now it says it's coal and consumable energy fuels. This is number 6. Is it a coal company? Let me see. I thought it was a nuclear company. Let's take a look. Let's see the virtual analyst report, see what it says. Headquartered in Bethesda, is a prominent supplier of nuclear fuel. Yeah, so I don't know why it's in the coal company sector. But this report, and I know that most everybody who has Seeking Alpha has access to this report. So I would say it could do a far better look at this one. But for me, I don't think this would be one that I would look. I think the TLN, I think it's the nuclear one, Talon Energy. I think that's the one that I really like. Let me see this one. TLN, yeah, it's ranked number 1 out of 6. It's a strong buy in the quant, and it has been a strong buy for quite a while. If you go back here, 11-1, it was trading at 209, and it was a strong back here at 223. That's just the beginning of last month, but you can go all the way back where it was a strong buy here, 815 at 136. So this is the one that I like for nuclear. Their valuation, it's a bit stretched. They're not making money, but their forward PE is 16. But the growth, The growth is really good. The profitability is really good. The momentum's excellent. And the revisions, this only has one analyst that covers it, and that's a bit of a problem. I think it's one. Yeah, 10 analysts that cover it. But their price target is $239. That's still 7% up. So, Double D, I appreciate you listening. Hopefully you understand, hey, I'm not an expert in the nuclear area, but I would probably look at that one, and I think there's better opportunities out there. Now, scans. We had a couple that kind of surprised me. One is Tesla. Tesla got I don't know if this is a second leg up or, an initial entry or what. But Tesla on Trendspider did get an entry in the 4-hour algorithm. Let me bring up the 4-hour algorithm again. We're going to go to the 4-hour, and then we're going to go over here and we'll pull up Tesla. Because this, and just so you know, in the newsletter, I do these scans. So yeah, you're seeing another entry, and it could go bullish. And I do think that this one, again, I've called it before. I said I think this one goes back up to this 414. So is it too late to get in? I think Musk is just running the government now. I think he's showing up on Capitol Hill, and I think he'll do well. Netflix, 916. I told you to get this one under 800. If you get under 900, I thought it was great. It's at 916. And this one, another entry into the out. It says it's going for another run. Another bullish technical indicator. CLS, Celestica. This is one that I own through Alpha Picks. This is another one, another bullish entry. Look at the MACD resetting. There are a lot of companies that right now where the technicals are indicating we've pulled back, we've gone sideways, and we could get to move higher. And CLS is one of them. Twilio, another Alpha Pick. This is one where, it's not like the MACD is reset, but we've come down a little bit. Gets another entry into the algorithm. I'm going to remove all text. Let me remove all text. Oh, come on. Remove all text. There we go. And there we go. And so you can see this one moving. I have the full list of scans. There's even GEV, which GE Vernova, when you're talking about energy, this is one that I think Stephanie Link really likes this one. This is a great one. This is just another one where the MACD has reset, the RSI is reset, and I think we're getting ready to go for another run. So if you believe that, again, you can read all the articles about how expensive this market is. I think it's ready to run again into the end of the year. The Santa Claus rally is here. So that's the show. If you have any questions, hit me up. It's all on Linktree. And again, remember the Black Friday sales. Trendspider's on sale. The Black Friday sale, the one that I would steer you towards is this dual one, the combo, the bundle, where you get premium, where you now get the virtual analyst report, which is huge, and you get alpha picks. Okay, you save $289. It is ending soon. So because it goes back to $798. Okay, you want to save this money. Get it before the end of the year. And don't wait, because I know they're going to take this away soon and they're going to say, yeah. And why do you want Seeking Alpha Premium? Well, it's just one of the best tools out there. There's no ads. There's a bunch of articles. You can find out. You can ask it anything. And the virtual analyst reports, you import your portfolio. We showed you yesterday how you can go over to the top stocks and you can look at this, and KINS, I showed you, it's up 700% year to date. Year to date, 698. So it was up 0.47 yesterday. It's a super, super small cap. It's one that I wouldn't get into normally, but it's there, and you could trade it. PSIX. We've talked about this one since it was at $11. It's $29 now. It's a small cap, stuff I wouldn't necessarily look at. So that's the first part. It's the Seeking Alpha Premium. You can get a Seeking Alpha Premium by itself. But the biggest one that I would urge you to get, because I'm a part of it and I'm going to pour more money into it, is this Alpha Picks portfolio. It's 2 stocks per month, one on the 1st, one on the 15th. And they tell you when to sell. And it's a managed portfolio. It's a managed portfolio. You get an email, you go out and buy it. You don't have to buy it. And I tried that for 6 months. I tried not buying. I tried saying, oh, you know what? Sprouts Farmers Market, I'm not going to buy it. I shopped there, but God, that's run so much. It's not good. It's up like 120% since I said that. You know, CLS was one. I said the initial buy earlier this year. I said, no, I'm not going to buy it. It's up like 100% since then. They have had amazing, amazing success. And again, how does it work? The quant team uses proprietary data to build a diverse portfolio on long-term growth. It is a long-term buy and hold. The stocks are rated strong buy, or hold, and based on valuation, momentum, profitability relative to their sector, we target stocks with positive momentum, which tend to outperform long-term. We closely monitor allocations to prevent concentration risk. Positions exceeding 15% are reduced to 10%, with proceeds redistributed among the portfolio. Stocks are downgraded to sell when necessary to maintain the portfolio health. So they tell you when to sell. And it's great. Again, check out the link. I would urge you to at least sign up for that one at the very least, because I think that if you're listening to me, you want this portfolio. It's up 193% versus the S&P during the same time, up 61%. Again, you get an email on the 1st and the 15th, and they tell you when to sell during the month. They just send you an email, and all I do is follow their lead. It's a no-brainer, and it has significantly outperformed the S&P. So if you have any questions, hit me up. My email's up on Linktree as well. Everything that you need for the podcast is here on Linktree. Okay, take care. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.